Good morning. Hello, hello. Hey, you got to launch on time, Father. See, I'll do it again this 2 weeks in a row. So take that. Hey, Jeff. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here on this lovely Saturday morning. Happy May 1st. Not that that's a real celebration. I know a couple more days. Hello, Mr. Ron. I know in a couple days we'll be having a couple more. Good morning, Nicole. Oh, so lovely to see you today. Hopefully you're doing well. Um, good morning, Cindy. Yeah, like I said, I guess a couple more days, you guys will be well, we, us, everybody, that sort of thing. um, yeah, we'll be all the Star Wars fans will be out in force in a few days. If you guys don't, haven't caught on yet or pay attention to it after several years of it. Hey, what's up, Jeff? May 4th is, May the 4th be with you. So that's always fun. So Facebook will be lit up with Star Wars stuff all day long. So watch out for that. And then the following day is Cinco de Mayo. So that's always another really cool one. So those are coming up this week. That's so neat. But um, good morning, Sharon. So, a lot it's weird, every week I'm always not sure what's gonna come up, to give you guys an update, and, it could be, Dad, it could be. Um, there, a lot to kinda go over and share this week, like I said, sometimes I don't know everything that's going to I never know how the week is gonna be. Sometimes you do. I mean, you know what your schedule is and things, and then, um, sometimes that can get all, moved around or shifted or whatever, and I've I had an interesting week, and luckily, you guys can see I'm smiling, look pretty happy, I'm not, I should be falling asleep at the keyboard by now, maybe, crashing into the microphone or something like that, but, uh to do a quick little summary, the reason why I should be tired and falling asleep on the keyboard is our Swippy was hosting a private investigation with some team that we all know that sponsors the Old Mill Pear Fest in November's, and they are from up north a little bit from Central Michigan. Hey, good morning, Margaret. And so it was good to see some of them. I mean, they've got some new members, and since the last time we saw them. Good morning, Rhonda. And so it was cool to see them. CMPI, I think that's it. So been a while, since we've seen them, but in fact, year and a half, I guess you could say that. Um, but yeah, so I mean, we'll get into that. But that's the thing is, hey, good morning, Donnie. Good to see you, sir. Uh, we um yeah, so I mean, we was out late, and one thing we're going to talk about real quickly because it happens. We all kind of go through things like this too, which I'll get into. But um, I yesterday I woke up at 3 in the morning. Again, we'll touch on that in shortly. Um, by the time I got home, it was clearly like 3:30, quarter to 4. So I was easily up, 24 hours with no problem. So, did not get any naps in like I was trying to. Unfortunately, I kept getting disturbed, so that didn't help up, but, you know, it's okay. But there's some good news, and I'll touch on that investigation stuff, because again, it wasn't we were hosting it like we normally do, but we had another member and I had a chance to kind of walk out and do a little bit just to kind of wake ourselves up to finish up the night. So we will talk about that because it is quite interesting to share what just her and I got. Well, and a few other things too, with other team members like Jeff's hanging out. Jeff was there for in the beginning. So anyway, so like I said, I like to kind of go over the week and things like that because it's always fun to you know what's it like to be a medium and go through the week because it can be interesting. Um, we like I said, the beginning well, the week was good for the most part, and then for some odd reason, middle of the week, everything kind of went downhill. And you know, I said, we all kind of go through spirals. We kind of go through the whole roller coaster thing. You're going uphill, everything's, difficult. And then eventually you get to the top and you race back down. And then it's like, whoo, this is fun. We're having a good time. And then it doesn't take long before you find the next hill, and then everything's slow again and difficult. And that seemed to be pretty prevalent this week for me. It was kind of unannounced in a way. I didn't see it. There wasn't too many signs that gave it away that I was gonna be dealing with stuff. But that's okay. I mean, that's the whole point, is that you're gonna always be throwing curveballs, and you just got to figure out how to adapt to them, and manage them as best you can. Because sometimes it doesn't work out too well. Like, the last couple days was not that great for me, so I was struggling. And hey, good morning, Tim. And so I said the beginning of the week was great. Good morning, Nancy. And things were cool, normal. It's weather and things were great, and even though we had some rain and stuff, which, by the way, when we were talking about stuff, I was curious. And oh, well, thank you, sir. I did do just a slight little trim this morning, not too much, just a little spots. Probably nobody would notice it, because it's a all over the place as it is. So, but a few little spots definitely got some much needed attention. Needs a little bit more though. uh, but I did get out into the rain, because a lot of us had that, in the Midwest, Michigan, Ohio. We had some rain and stuff like that. So it was really, really cool. Good morning, Debbie. And thank you, Rhonda. And I definitely got out there, because I told, you guys, I think last weekend, and think, if you get a chance, go out there. And well, I'm sorry, I didn't say it then. Maybe some of you didn't catch it Monday night, which was a really cool event. I got to share space and do a healing show with several other, talented healers and stuff like that. And I've done this before, and it's the Hearts of Change Collective, and it's with Jennifer, Kathy, and Bonnie, and they're the host of that show. And then they brought in three of us, in addition to those three. So it's six of us doing a healing show Monday night. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, you still can watch that. You can go back to my page, or you can go to theirs. And it was really cool. So even if you guys are in need of anything right now, go back to that day, or it's on my page. I shared it. So either my page or theirs. Take a look at and listen to it, watch it, so to speak, and you still will benefit from. That's the cool thing is, some people, well, you got to be there live. No, 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 you don't. That's just the raw answer of it. No, you don't. And there's Jennifer. So Jennifer knows. And it was really, really great. We had fun. Uh, a lot came through. I mean, there was moments that we all were just blown away by stuff, and how those shows happen. I mean, there's sort of kind of like my morning show here. It's a little, all it can be all over the place. I can jump from this to that, and sometimes that's okay, because we do that in normal conversations with each other. And uh and like Jennifer just said, there's a lot of synchronicities that we did where we kind of were feeding off of each other, not on purpose. It's just how it went. And I've only missed one of them, so this was the third one they've done. But these two, were almost identical in the sense that this is what was neat, was there seemed to be a theme that would pop up, and we just would it was so cool. And it was also for the I'm gonna forget which moon it was. See, I'm terrible. Because my mind's been all over the place this week. So, whatever moon it was Monday, uh, that's what that's what was going on. So, pink moons, black moon. I don't know. Somebody will correct me in the chat room. I know they will. But again, it was so much fun. Pink moon. Thank you, Debbie. See, I knew somebody would say it. I thought it was pink, but you never know. Plaid moon, that would be my dad's favorite moon of year, so he'll get that joke. And but yeah, so if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely take a look at. See, here he goes. He wrote it right there. Psychic guys. I say that in my titles a lot. Psychic. My father said it before. I said it before he even realized it. So there you go. So good morning, Tim. And but yeah, so again, if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely do it. It's worth your time. It's like, I think it's over an hour and a half. I don't yeah, we didn't quite make 2 hours. So, about an hour, I think it was, um, but it's really cool to check it out. So definitely take a peek at it if you're interested, and set an hour aside to to not only experience that healing for yourselves, support Jennifer and Kathy and Bonnie on their pages, because that's I love those ladies so much. I told them even afterwards that the pink full supermoon. uh, I afterwards I just they're all three of those ladies just blow me away sometimes, and they have and something I even wrote, it's like they have an infectious energy about them where you just can't help but want to just even if you don't say a whole lot, you're taking a lot in. You're just uh you just love how they just their energies just work together, and they have a lot of great shows. They have a lot of great guests on it, and so it's always so cool to check them out. Sometimes I'm late when I check, see their shows. I'm always got other things going on, and I forget because I'm like doing this, that, and the other, and, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta watch the the HOCC. So yeah, support if you guys can support them, because it's well worth it. I mean, you're gonna learn something or experience something, so it's well worth it. So that was Monday. So like I said, beginning of the week went really great. And that was a perfect start to the week. Um, and like I said, then I told during that show is when I told everybody, I said, one of my suggestions to kind of help rid yourselves of things is, and you guys know this is a topic I've brought up countless times, is always rain. Everybody's so afraid of rain. They get so depressed over it, and that's because you're letting your mind do that stuff. And we're not going to go there. I'm not going to preach to you guys on rain some more. But I told him, I said, this was a perfect opportunity that to grounding yourself is very important. But for me, I'll go out there, and I don't care what type of rain it is, or what time of year. I'll go out there, stand out there for a little bit, and just let it hit me, and I open up and I kind of just envision, that Earth Mother is, cleansing me. She's washing away all the stuff. Thank you, Tim. So, uh, and excuse me, and but it does. I mean, and like I said, if you just give it a chance, you'd be surprised of what you can receive, what you can get rid of, because sometimes we just don't always have the means. I mean, a lot of us healers and mediums and stuff like that, we're busy, we're booked, and so you can't always get to us. And so as much as we would love to be able to fit everybody in, and around our busy schedules, sometimes you have to do some things on your own. Might be tough, but that's why, you know, you get some of us that are out here talking about things, and we're trying to show you guys too that, a lot of this everybody can do. It's just how much are you willing to put the time in and devote to it. But even if you can't, that's all right. But that's why we give you suggestions to go out there, and this works. This does work if you believe in it and you open to it. And like I said, the brain is so cool, and I'm not afraid of it. I mean, you know, growing up as a kid and things, it's like, it sucks because, when you want to be outside, because us old timers, remember the days of, we didn't have electronics, and the TV, there was only one TV in the house, and so you didn't always get a chance to watch the TV or what you wanted to watch. So you spent a lot of time outdoors. And so when it rained, it sucked because you really wanted to be out, because you connected with nature where we come from. And good morning, Rodney. And Rhonda, living in water. Perfect. And so yeah, we and Nicole's saying some great things too. So um it just blows me away, that there's just little things that you can do. And so like I said, I went out, even at my day job, it was raining and stuff like that. Nothing bad, just a light rain. And I'd walk out with a coworker and stuff like that, and he's kind of rushing and running to his car, and I'm walking kind of like, whatever, just I'm just taking it all and just living it up. And I can't help but laugh over it, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm really mentally going, okay, Earth Mother, do your thing. I'm wash away all this gunk that's on me, and get rid of it, because I don't want it anymore. So that's awesome, Debbie. Yeah. Um, yeah. It's like I said, you can't be afraid of things like that. You really, really can't. All right. I know, man. I hope Beth she makes it through. Stay awake. Hey, Chris. And anyway, um so that, so if you guys got a chance to do that, or did do it, great. If you didn't do it, there'll be plenty more times for the rain to show up, and especially now that it continues to get warmer. And go out there, don't be afraid of it. I mean, I understand if it's thunderstorming, that might be maybe a little risky, or a torrential downpour, maybe maybe not be the best, but even then you could just really go out there, maybe after you get kind of washed up a little bit with all that, downpour and heavy rains, just take some soap and water out there, and you can just, or soap, and you can cleanse yourself that way, and just do the external stuff, while you're getting the spiritual things done internally. So, uh, but yeah, go out there, don't be afraid of it when you feel little raindrops on you, um, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at what you can do for you. So, and then moving on, like I said, the week was going good. As we got through midweek, things started changing. I started, more things were popping up, and it started getting to the point where there's almost too much, and I was holding on. I was managing as best I could, just taking care of what I could take care of, and it still gets to the point where, like all of us, it just becomes completely overwhelming. And uh, Debbie, when we tried to do the Beyond the Silence show Wednesday, Debbie had, some family situations going on, and so it was super tough, to, like I said, I got to see a little bit of it, messaging her. So, I felt my heart went out to her, and so she was dealing with a lot. And then, she had some a non-family issue that she had to deal with, and unfortunately, it just kind of fell. Everything fell on Wednesday at the wrong time, and so it's what happens. I mean, family always comes first for everybody, and we miss a show, or we can't make it to a show or something like that. I mean, that's just life, and so I did check in with Debbie yesterday, and so things there. One of the family things, is kind of taking a little bit of a turn for worst, and so still kind of hoping and things will still change around and stuff, but we'll keep an eye on her, and see what's going on. um so yeah, like I said, it was weird that, midweek, and other people in my life were starting to experience issues, and it's like, "Eeh, what is happening out there?" Did this pink moon do something to us all? So I know leading up to it, some people were experiencing little things here and there, and I think usually afterwards, more would happen. So who knows? But and then, Thursday, Friday, oh my gosh. Oof. So Thursday, again, there's something I'm going to share, but I have to keep it, can't share a lot of details over it. But I had another, paranormal related case. They reached out to me, and in fact, I was recommended by a few people in our community, and so I'm not going to call them out because I didn't ask them if I can say their names, but they recommended me, which was super super cool. So I can't thank them for doing that. And so I had a session Thursday night. uh it was a pretty intense case. Again, I can't share a lot of details just because it's private. And but it was pretty nasty. It's, obviously not the worst that I've ever dealt with, but it definitely, it got up there. And uh it was neat because, I definitely knew some information that was going in there. And with the uh with the issues that were going on, because sometimes, like I said, most of us mediums want to go in as cold as possible. We don't want to know, because if we get some information, you can really see what's happening. And I, had to know some of it, just because it makes a difference, like when I deal with a kid case. I want to know what's going on with the kid. I don't want to find out, all the stuff later. I want to know, because it makes me approach the situation different. Not that any other case would be any different. But children is always, something that when I get involved in one, I feel horrible. Depending on the kid's age, excuse me. It's not fair. I think a lot of us that have done this for a while and been in those situations where we've had to help a family out and the kids are being highly affected. It's one of those things you drop as much as you can to put yourself fully involved in that situation and do what you can. All right, buddy. Tim, you take care, bud. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. And so I uh you know again, so like I said, it helps to know this information ahead of time. And so when I uh knew what I was getting into, because there's certain things that then when knowing it, I know what to look for. There's certain then other signs. So for me, it was going to be a remote viewing and getting in there. I'm able to kind of figure out things a little bit quicker, which is obviously helpful, especially when you guys don't get to know it, but the how intense the situation was. It makes a difference. And so get in there. Sure enough, I confirmed because my guides came through to me earlier in the day, Thursday, and just said, "Hey, I think." Well, they didn't say "think." I'm saying it, but they think they're. We know it's this. And I'm like, really? I'm like, well, not really in the sense that I was questioning them. Really is in the sense like, okay, I know we were kind of thinking that before. I keep saying think. I got to stop that. All right, see you, Rodney. And I was like, but I was like, cool. I mean, I get it. They wouldn't have shared that information. They wouldn't have directed me that information if it wasn't what it was supposed to be. So I went, was like, okay. So I still checked everything else and I did some cleansing and stuff like that. And then sure enough, then where I had to focus my attention ended up being true. And it was neat because uh, one information I didn't know was, pieces of what was happening was directed a certain way. I guess that's the best way to say it without saying it. And when I was able to then talk about it after I was all done, uh, it validated it because again, it wasn't something I was told. And so when I said, hey, is happening, or throwing it out there because this is what I saw. Oh, hey, Gemma, good to see you, love. And I ended up, it was spot on. It was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm having issues. And I'm like, whoa, okay, so that's kind of cool. And so, you know, but it was cool because, small differences, the client and could feel some differences already, which is can be normal. And, you know, and then she went to bed. And unfortunately, you know, and this happens. It happens. It's rare, but it happens. I always check in, and the message in the morning was saying that still doesn't believe that things are completely gone. There still seems to be some issues lingering, and it's you know stinks to have to realize that maybe there's something you missed um, or something else popped in. You I go through a role. I have so many different steps that I go through, things I've learned, things I've added to cleansing and removals and things of that nature. And then to find out, they're still experiencing things. Um, so I have to check in again today with them and see what's happening and see how last night went because that would have been night two. And so we will see. We will definitely see how they're doing today, and then I have to then make a call on as to what my next approach will be, because it doesn't get to happen very often, and because a lot of times you handle what you handle, and usually don't get too many times where it didn't either seem to take or something else jumped in and you missed it when you were kind of transitioning out and things. So and it's okay, like I said, it's not like I gave up. I'm not, I'm not quitting. I don't do that. And this field, you can never say you guarantee anything. And I found a way that you can say you have a guarantee. There's enough people that I know, some are in the chat room, that I know that if I needed some additional help, I could call them in and say, "Hey, I'm dealing with this. This is what's gone on so far. You might have a different angle at this, a different view, and so I was wondering if you could help me." And so, which is great. This is what the community is supposed to do. We're supposed to help each other out. Because we don't know everything, and it's okay to put your hands up, saying, "Well, this." you think it was going to work. It was what the right call was, but sometimes you kind of need to have a little bit of backup, or you need to somebody to work with you, and you kind of need to do a team effort. I've been in investigations with other mediums, and we've had to do a team effort because that's the only way we could have driven the spirits out of the home. So once in a while it happens, and I think this might be one of those situations. I got one more thing I need to do, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, and good morning, Doug. So it so it's okay. Like I said, it's a bummer. Like I said, you 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 want to resolve things. We do this because we help, we want to help people. And so you know, it stinks to have to realize that they might go through a few more maybe a few more days that where, it might still be what it was before. And so, but I've done a few times where I've had to go back and do the same things again. And then what ended up happening was is this my second time back ended up being what finally, got rid of everything, and so we do the best we can. And that's and so yeah, so we'll see. I got to reach out to them today and see how last night went, and then make my next steps if I need to, and maybe maybe it was just that night, and then everything is finally gone. I don't know yet. I will find out. So and we'll see. But so um, so that was Thursday, and then let's see. I know I missed a lot of comments and things like that because I was pretty involved in that. Pretty involved in trying to share that stuff with you guys. I Friday last night. It was pretty rough day. Uh oh. Hang on a second, guys. I forgot to mention in the beginning of the show, I'm doing double duty where I'm watching my son. Give me one second because I hear him coming down the stairs. Are you okay? That does on TV. Oh, well, you guys might see my son. You might see my son here. Dad does on TV. Yeah, Dad does on TV. Okay. So, like I said, I'm doing double duty because my wife and daughter are at a fundraiser. My daughter's in band in the junior high, and uh, so they're gone. So normally in the past I've always like either moved the show or changed it, and this is one of those moments where I thought, let's try, let's see what'll happen. Will he be okay? Because some of maybe some of you don't. I mean, my son, he's about to turn 10, and he's autistic, so you have to keep an eye on him a little bit more. Not that we have to be glued to watching him, but sometimes he'll get into a few things, and like his big thing is he'll find candy wherever candy is. He'll find candy, and then it's like you just see wrappers everywhere. So it's like, oh geez, sugar head. We joke with him about. Like, God, boy. So we'll see. So if I keep looking away, it's not because I'm trying to not pay attention. I just want to see if he's going to come running back around the corner. So um, so we'll see. So I apologize, but at the same time, it is kind of cute. So if he walks over here, it's gonna be more cuter because he's still in his pajamas. So it's all good. But in fact, give me a second. I need this. I want to make sure he's okay real quick. He's just at my wife's desk, which is around the corner. You doing okay? Okay, you can stay there. Okay, he's sitting in at my wife's or his mom's desk at work. So so he's gonna probably just listen in, which is cool too. I don't mind. And anyway, so yesterday, Friday was like I said, it was rough for most of the day. I was having some panic attacks, which kind of sucked because it's been a while since I've had them. And um, it was to the point where there was just so many other things, other little things, and all this stuff started building up, and eventually it just kind of got to the point where it overflowed, and I couldn't keep it empty enough, quick enough. And it's just one of those mental things that there's just so much, and it happens. That's what if you ever have a breakdown, and it's because there's so much. You get overwhelmed with things. You're dealing with this situation, but then more jumps in on those, and it's just like, what do I do? I'm panicking here. And so, right, Rhonda, I mean, that's that, it's very possible, it just happened. Cause I'm like, I was telling my other friend, it was like, everything was fine. I don't know what happened in the middle of the week. It's like everything just kind of, started slowly going downhill. And I'm like, "Ugh, what is happening?" But uh and it did it. And like I said, we all go through them. Sometimes those of us that do, the holistic and spiritual things and stuff might know, feel them a little bit more. It might be harder to manage and deal with. I mean, so that's why sometimes it's like I need a down day, and you'll see some others that are in the same boat. They're like, I can't do this, and I got to take a day off, or they need to take a week off. A lot of times we do forget to take care of ourselves. I've mentioned that before to you guys. And so it sucks. It sucks when you want to do so much, you want to help so much, and then you leave yourself completely, running down into the ground, and you're still trying to do things with a smile, and the next thing you know, you're hurting. You just can't function. And again, like for me yesterday, it was just the panic attacks were several times, and it hurts. For me, it's always in my chest. That's where I get it, where it's right in the center. And it sometimes feels like somebody's, hitting you with a hammer. It's that intense. And I'm like, and like I mean, at least, and the hard part is some people don't even realize what they are based from, because it's like, why am I hurting? Why am I, dealing with? Well, a lot of times you have to look back at least 24 hours to see what you were dealing with, because sometimes panic attacks don't set in until the next day. That's how it is for me a lot. And it it's intense. And again, I want to, share these things because, I'm no different than anybody else, and I deal with issues. And so I want you guys to see it, and can see it in my face, when I'm talking about these things, so that way you understand. It sucks. I deal with it, and you just do the best you can to get through it. And so uh it was neat was, and one thing, well, one of the attacks, and this is where it's big. So if you guys if you're one that experiences attacks, and you maybe have never really understood or never had any opportunities of how to get rid of them, because you don't ever really get rid of them, but you manage them, as I've said a couple times already. uh, it's Oh, I think the family's here. I think they might be home early. That might be cool. So um the big thing is distraction. So a lot of times what you have to do is you have to come up with things to do that are going to distract you. And one of the things that I found that was really beneficial was uh this is hilarious. And like I said, it's different for everybody. But one thing that worked for me, and you'll understand it in a second, is like was doing chores. Now, why in the heck would doing a chore help me out? Well, yeah, I'm doing something. I am kind of, cleaning this or doing laundry or vacuuming or whatever, wiping things, windows down or whatever. I guess you don't realize. So when you're having an attack and stuff like that, it's so overwhelming that you end up, feeling defeated, you're depressed. And so by doing a chore, as simple as it is, you end up uh, having, by doing the chores, you end up completing something. So if you do, say, you vacuum your house or your apartment or whatever, when you get done, it's like, hey, I got that done. And then all of a sudden you realize that you don't feel as painful anymore, and it's starting to ease up. And then you do another chore, you load the dishwasher up or something, like you said, you start stacking them up, and you get these accomplishments that start adding up, as mundane and as how we have to do them. But for some reason, mentally, it starts clicking, and you start seeing this green check marks, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then before you know it, you're feeling great. And I'm like, I never thought it, because I would play video games, I would read, something, I would, meditation does work, I will say that. And go outside for, a little while, all the things that I've always told you, I do that stuff. But sometimes the chore stuff works out, really well too. And I'm like, well, and so I'll do that. But unfortunately, when I had one of the attacks, I was driving home from work, and it hit me. It came out quick, and I'm like, so I was like, oh man. And I remembered one thing I didn't do, because I tell you guys, hey, Carmen. And what I a lot of times in the morning, kind of like I'm awake. I'm driving to work because again, most of you know that I got to drive an hour and 10 minutes to get to work. So I'm awake enough to drive, so I'm not dozing off. But I don't always do my morning prayers like I always say I do. What I end up doing is usually when I get to work, or in this case, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't say it when I got to work. So on the way home, when I was having one of the attacks, I just started doing my prayers. So I talking to everything that helped me out. And I tell you what, though, I mean the prayers, a couple minutes long. When it was over, everything was gone. I was completely, uh, I wasn't in pain anymore. I wasn't feeling overwhelmed, and it was so cool because it was like, I mean, 2 minutes and I was clean, and feeling great. So sometimes, you got to go back into things that you have already established. So that worked out really well. So anyway, so get through all those, and I was excited about the going last night to our old mill, and you're gonna hear my son over there. When he gets excited, he kind of yells and screams when he's having a good time because he's got an iPad right now, so he's watching a video or playing a video game. So now the family's coming down. Yes, he's been sitting over there for about the last 5-10 minutes. He's been just listening to me the whole time. So I didn't know if he was going to pop on camera. So that's where I was warning everybody. I'm like, he might just show up on camera. So the boy is going upstairs. It's so funny. Um, but like I said, the old mill, we had a private investigation last night, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So, good sponsor of ours, and a cool team, CMPI, and they came out. It's been a while. I mean, they come to they obviously sponsored the old mill Parafest, and they haven't actually investigated in several years. So it was cool to have them come back and check it out. And so they, you know, brought their whole crew out, and it was a good night. A lot of them were having a good time. I didn't get to talk to everybody at certain points, but I know there was a lot of times where they did have some good they were collecting evidence and experiencing things, so it was really cool. I mean, that's all we always hope. I say that all the time, and so we always hope that somebody walked away with something. So obviously, video and stills and audio, they'll obviously listen back, and hopefully maybe they'll let us know that they got some stuff. So but eventually, as I was getting about like 2 in the morning, 1:32 in the morning, and I was starting to really hurt. I was starting to doze off. And so one of the other members was like, hey, let's go, let's wake up and we'll go do something. We'll just be in the opposite corners of wherever they are. And so sure enough, uh her and I went off, and oh my god, I gotta back up. Holy smokes, I'm jumping too far ahead. I forgot a lot of the stuff that matters, which is leading up to this point. A couple weeks ago we were there for our public, and one of the things you guys know and heard me talk about several times is, we have residential spirits that are there. They always come out, they talk to us, all that fun stuff. And so one of them that we have that's now become a regular is a little girl, that's her name's Nevaeh, and it was a real tragic story. And I've talked about her before. And um, so she's been hanging out like all the time, like she's there every time we're there. And a couple of weeks ago, she started giving me messages. And normally, those nights I don't do that, a lot of the mediumship stuff. I kind of stay closed and things. But it came up. I mean, you really wanted to share something, said, okay, let's talk for a few. And she started giving me images of things, because we were like, is there anything you might need? Do you want to play with something? Because we have a section now of some toys and things that she's into. And we wanted to see if there was some more. So I had one of our other team members, Jen, with me at that time 2 weeks ago, which she came, last night too, obviously. But she kept showing a metal spoon, a small metal spoon, not like, not big old, teaspoon or anything, but like a small one. And so I mentioned to Jen, because I started telling her, I'm like, well, she keeps showing me this like metal little spoon, and it's real small. And I was thinking maybe a kid's spoon or something like that. But um and so she's like, okay. And she's thinking about it. And then I said, I mentally asked her, I didn't say it out loud. I was like, is there something else you want? Does it go with that spoon? And sure enough, right as Nevaeh's showing me the next image of what else she wants, Jen calls out saying, "Does she want like a tea set or something?" And it was like, I kind of like that. I'm like, the eyes kind of went, and I said, "She just showed me a little tiny cup, like a teacup." So it was pretty cool that it was start. I mean, she was already kind of going there, and I was already getting that message before it happened. So obviously, the three of us, were already connecting. And so it was like, okay, cool. So then that's what we did. Jen went and she got a cool small tea set. One of her colors, which we actually don't know her true favorite color, but she's told us, since she started becoming more um stable and staying at the mill the whole time. She mentioned, she liked green, so we provided green, and when there was green ribbons and green balloons, and she only would play with those colors. Other things she would leave alone, but if it was green, she would play with it. So it was like, oh, cool. And so Jen found this awesome, tea set that, most of the base color was green, and then it had like some flowers and stuff on there. And so she bought that, and she brought all kinds of other cool little things. And she got the spoons, and she found a cool set. And Jen went all out. Like, I'll have to I haven't yet, because I just, still trying to wake up in a way. Jen, I took a photo of the setup that we did, because the idea was is we were gonna do a big presentation for them with, whatever team members were available. So I had an old kids table and two chairs that we were just going to be donating, or giving away. But we said, it hit like, when we need more, because we've been collecting so many things now that and people have been, offering up stuff that, we've run out of room. So the little kids table that I had that my kids used, I've now given it to the mill. And so we've got this whole tea set up, and not only is it set up for Nevaeh, but it's also set up for our other two main spirits that are there. Excuse me, Bob and Marie. And most of you know Marie is my ghost girlfriend. So, well, Jen and I were talking, and getting things planned out, and she's doing that. I'm going to get the tables and chairs. And it hit me at that point talking to Jen. And I'm like, and this was 2 weeks ago. I said, it's really been a while since I've given Marie anything. Maybe it's time I do that. And so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I think I know what I can do. And Jen was just like, yeah, you should. You haven't done anything in a while, because she's like, well, I'm going to get a couple things for her as well. I'm like, okay, cool. And I said, well, probably mean a lot if I get her something. So I ended up grabbing something, and I'll tell you what it is. And you know, it was cheap, so it's not like I really spent a whole lot, but it looks pretty legit. So even though I'm sure Marie no understands, but I'm not gonna spend that much money, which is sad, but at the same time, there's a good chance that somebody might want to be like, "Ooh, this is real. I'm gonna steal it." So if it gets stolen, which I hope it doesn't, it'll stay where it's supposed to stay, and that way Marie can always admire it. Anyway, so we get there, we get all set up, we get the whole all the tea set up, and we get cups. Now, Bob had a cup because he likes coffee. Marie got a cup, and Jen did a fantastic job with all the things that she found. She even donated some personal items to the table, and so we set everything up, and we had it all set. And really cool thing. I will post a couple pictures of that on this page. So we did the presentation, and we could definitely feel like she was running around, and so then I shifted over to where years ago I gave Marie a vase full of fake flowers, so that way they always stayed in bloom. And so I've always kept them up on a shelf in the basement, so it's away from everybody, so it's not like everybody can just like go and grab it or even notice it right away, even though it's flowers. It's a basement, huh? Something bright and colorful, and then but um so I wanted to be over where the vase was, because, like I said, that was my first gift I ever gave her. And what I ended up doing was is I bought a necklace, and it had like kind of it's like a cubic zirconian ring, or ring, cubic zirconian, little stone on it. So I said it's real cheap, but it looked cool. It looked expensive, and that's obviously the point. But Marie's known for looking at, anybody, especially females that are wearing necklaces that, have some sparkle and things to it. She's always maybe grabbing it or poking it or even pulling it up and lifting it. So like sometimes it's been captured where you can start to see that the necklace will start levitating and nobody's touching it. So she would get into it. So I thought, well, this would be a perfect opportunity because she likes those things. So why not give her that? So so what I did was is over the flowers, I put the necklace and I kind of have it hanging to where it's like an eye view. So I stood over there and I was trying to connect with her at that point because I wanted to see what her reaction would be. And it was neat as Marie, her thing is that she'll come up to my left arm, she'll grab onto it because it always feels like ice packs are on certain parts of my arm. Just at that point where she's, coming up to see me, little Nevaeh comes running past me over to the table. And so that was a really cool moment. Everybody could feel that she was over there and, uh, just blowing everybody's mind away, And granted, there was Nancy, Stacy, Jen, Jeff, and myself that were down there at that time. Everybody else either wasn't coming or there were like not everybody else could make it last night, but so we wanted to still do this presentation thing. So uh yeah, you're right, Debbie. Yeah, I know. I actually say that a lot of times. I said if you're wearing necklaces, she does like bling bling. So um but so I stayed over there because I was a pretty good distance away. But anyway, good reaction. Nevaeh was pretty happy. She was excited to have, the little set because that's what she was requesting. And so so I'm staying over there and sure enough, I'm talking to Marie and I'm being quiet about it. And so I just said, hey, Marie, that you heard me say it, but I said, look up there. That's for you. That's for me. I said, I hope you really like it because I said, I know you love necklaces and I want you to have your own. And so, a lot of backstory. So I'm gonna say I'm not gonna go there because we are getting close to the end of the show. And she um I just, I kept saying it over because I really wanted her to know that it was a true gift for her, and even though she's on that side, doesn't hurt to still have some material items and feel, needed and wanted. And she didn't get that in life. She was never appreciated, died way too young, because she was only in her mid 30s. And so it real sad and story, but uh it was just cool, and eventually it got to the point where, you know, she's breaking down you know, and it starts getting me choked up and, you know, I didn't go full because I was trying to be extra strong for her, but, you can't help but to start to feel the eyes were getting a little extra there. "Hey, Janet, good to see you." And, so it was getting close. I didn't nothing ever actually fell down my face, but it definitely was building. And so, but to see how emotional she got uh, I kept looking over at the necklace and things. And so she just, was so blown away by it and so thankful. And, she's bawling and holding on to me. And so it's cool that you can create that, and then even for me to feel it, you can feel the energy. And so it's not like you're just kind of making it up. I mean, you can feel this stuff just like if you were telling somebody in the room, and same kind of thing. You're giving a gift and you're getting the emotional reactions back and stuff. So I mean, this was exactly what you would expect. And so it was really cool. So we did all that and then we went up and that's when the guests came. And so we went through the tour and things and stuff like that. But then fast forward, well, we're like I said, I was getting tired, so Stacy and I went out, and Jen was leaving, Jeff was gone, and so Nancy and Tim were still up in the buzz room. And so Stacy and I went, and so went to a couple spots. We were just kind of figuring out things because there were some areas was calling to her. And so, and then, ironically, the guests wanted to go back in those areas. So we, no worries. You guys got the place. So we would leave. And so we ran to the hall because the last few people that were in there from the team had nothing going on. So we said, well, let's go into the hall real quickly and just see, if anything's happening. And so we go in there and you can feel the energy. I mean, the hall is one of the other favorite spots. And so we're feeling it. And finally, decided to turn on one of my um, spirit box apps and just kind of see, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but I was just going to see. And so we're firing up, and next thing you know, we're having conversations with a lot of them. And they said my name at least a good dozen times. They said Stacy's name a few times. I mean, conversations that were going on and the information we were getting, and we're just mind blown at this point. So we're like, holy smokes. I mean, this is a lot of cool information. And so we were just like, yes. And so in the middle of it, we a couple people from the team were just in the basement. So it was good that we didn't go down there right away. So we saw them come out. And we kind of said, hey, we're down here because they saw some light moving and they weren't sure who it was. And so we we said, no, we're over here. So they went. And so we said, well, let's go into the basement real quick. We can kind of say, see what the energy is like, and say goodbye, and hope you like everything and play with it, and we'll be back in a few weeks, or a week or two, whenever. So we go down there, and we go into the area, we sit in some chairs, and it's just the two of us, nobody else is down there. And you know we waited a few minutes just to kind of feel it out, and it was definitely, they were around. And so sure enough, I pulled out the same app again, and oh my gosh, you know, Nevaeh's voice was coming through. Marie's voice was coming through, which is pretty rare because Marie usually doesn't do a lot of vocal talking, but it was clearly her voice, the Nevaeh's voice. And Bob was coming through. And so it was really, like you're kind of in that shock and awe moment, but at the same time, you're just like thrilled because it's like, oh my gosh, they are really wanting to talk to us, which, we were hoping, but so they're all saying things. And so we again, both of Stacy and I were saying, hey, do you guys like your gifts and stuff? And um they were being positive and stuff. And so at one point, it was getting tired because we could hear that it seemed like the other team was actually going to leave, which is weird because you're not supposed to be where we were at, and where they were was completely opposite ends of the building, so there's no way. But for some reason we kept hearing all this noise, so we were like, oh, they're packing up. And and the toilet was flushing because the pipes go through the basement, which was great. But um so we were probably down, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. But when we were getting to the end, we said, okay, well, we need to go. I said, it's getting cold, it's really late for us. And I said, we both have long drives home, and we want to make sure that you guys enjoy your items and things. And so I said, so we were saying things. We were just saying, well, same things, repeating ourselves, varying it, and just hoping that we'll hear something back. And so one point, we heard Nevaeh come over the app and say, I love you, or thank you so much, or thank you. And uh Marie said something to that effect. And then I said, I want you guys to know, I said, we love you, I love you. And you know, Nevaeh came up and she said, I love you, to both of us. And then Marie said it, and it was just like, I mean, Stacy and I were probably a good 6 feet away from each other because we were spread out. But even we could see each other in the dark, and we're just like, whoa, I mean, that was pretty heavy for them to, I mean, thanking us, saying they love us. And it was just like, it was a really sweet moment to get that kind of reaction, and the appreciation for what we did. I mean, I wish Jen was still there at that point. I mean, but it was late. So that way she could have seen it. But I Stacy was running a recorder, so I'm hoping that when she plays it back, a lot of that stuff will be clearly heard. So maybe there's a point that we might be able to share some of those moments with everybody at some point. But just even Bob, I mean, Bob, could be pretty hardcore, and be a little tough guy because he was. But at the same time, him even saying thanks and stuff. And so, it's like there was a lot of fun things that they were saying to us, and stuff that we just were, you know, whoa, and it's like, yes, and so, uh, so all that we did, and and the love we have for them, I mean, because they deserve it too, and we don't hold any spirits. That's the one thing I try to tell everybody, is that they're free to come and go. We don't, if they don't want to, if they want to stay, they can stay. If they want to go, they can go. They have every freedom in the world to stay. And they hang out, and even for little Nevaeh, I mean, uh you know you feel bad, you'd be like, maybe you'd be a little bit more happy someplace else, but she hangs out, and I think it's just because how we are, how the team is, and we care for them. We are concerned when they're not doing okay, and giving us information and stuff, and even then when they are and they're coming up and wanting to play with us. I mean, Nevaeh comes up to Jen and Stacy a lot because they're moms, and so she can kind of feel, because she was 5 years old when she was murdered, and she'll cling to their legs and stuff like that, like a 5 year old would do. Would come up and grab onto you, um, and so she's come up to me. She's held my hand and giving me hugs and stuff. So I mean, it really is super cool to get to experience, and it's awesome that we have those opportunities to do that at a location like the mill. So it's you know I hope that we'll be able to be around that mill for so many more years, and I definitely would be devastated if we ever had to stop, and maybe wouldn't be allowed to do the investigations and stuff there anymore. It would be rough on me. It would. I don't know what I would do. I try not to think of that, because you don't want to put those kind of vibes out there, but uh, you know, we'd figure something out. I don't know what, but uh, so it's just so cool that you get these opportunities to make friends, and really just it's the research of it all. It's the understanding the stuff that we've all questioned for years. I say this a lot, and there's so many questions, there's so many things we want to know, and we don't push our spirits to answer all those questions that or shouldn't be asked. We want them to feel comfortable and trust us, and maybe they'll share it at some point, and that's maybe what we're going to see what'll happen. And we just take what we get, and we appreciate it, we offer them things, and we'll go from there. And so it was a great end of the night, and even though getting home late and trying to get a few hours of sleep, and then I knew I wanted to make sure I came on and shared the stuff with you guys, because like I said, there's an up and down week, and at least so far it's been a highlight, and the weekend's here, so that's cool. The weather's decent, sun's out, and um, got a couple things going on, so I get the family out. My parents get throwing away a bunch of stuff, so we're going to be loading up a dumpster. So doing some good deeds there, and and then uh, I think we're doing a little bit around the house tomorrow. Got to cut the grass and stuff, all that normal jazz that you got to do every weekend, because you can't always do it during the week. But um, so it should be cool. It should be good, and you know, I think in some way, as much as I was having a rough day, it ended really well, and then it's neat that despite it all, I feel really good right now, and so like right now, I've obviously kind of gone over that top of the hill of the roller coaster, and now I'm kind of having fun going downhill, and but in a good sense. Everything, it's not a struggle right now, and I feel like the rest of the weekend's going to be a good time, and so at least I feel uplifting. Don't get me wrong, I will definitely appreciate a nap at some point. So I will hope that'll happen after I get done at my parents' house and stuff. So come home and crash, I I'll need it. I know this afternoon it'll be rough, but and then get a good night's sleep, as much as I want to stay up a little bit, but it is what it is. So uh I'm trying to think. um well, that's a good question, Debbie. I'll throw that up there, because I still have like a minute or so left. It depends on how often. A lot of times we wait to see if there's investigations, whether it's a public one that we're offering up for anybody to show up, or a group. Like last night was a team, and the team was like I said, they're friends of ours and things, and so it does happen. Sometimes you just get groups of friends that are all into it, but they don't really have a team, and so they just do a private, because it's you don't have to worry about other people. So it varies. I know with the pandemic, it's been tough, because we 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 didn't have a whole lot, and then we had a few things, and then we kind of shut down again, and then you started up again, and then same thing over the December, January, we were had to shut down again, and then finally, we've been kind of ramping back up into February. So I'm trying to think, where are we at? I think this might have been like the third or fourth thing total. So it's great. I mean, obviously we want to, the money goes right back into the old mill. So we want to help them out because I know they're hurting. And we it's either next week or the week after uh we have another private, and then I can't remember if it's near the end of May or it's June or something like that. We have another public. I can't remember offhand. But, I know it's I'll easily be able to share that information, especially if it's a public. So I mean, if you're local and you want to sign up for to come out, because I don't know if that one's sold out yet or not. I haven't looked, but there's another one that's going on. Oh, okay, my father's telling me May 16th. Cool. That might be the public one. And uh so oh, May 21st. Thanks, Tim. Oh, I didn't know you were still there. See, I knew there were some dates in there. So I could get my phone, but I'm at the end of the show anyway. So, um, but so that's cool. Uh, so yeah, I mean, we're pretty excited, but we stay busy. You know what I mean? And there's obviously there's some more potential dates. There's more things going on, and so we just trying to roll with it. Pandemic. Michigan's been rough with the numbers, so we're some positive things down the road that we're kind of watching to see what'll happen. So hopefully that'll open up more. Maybe by the summertime, end of summer, we'll see, and then maybe we'll get some more groups in and really help that mill out because they are struggling too. And July 30th, thank you, Tim. And so, but yeah, if there's publics and things like that, we can let you guys know. So if you want to come hang out with us and investigate, the night, by all means, we'd be more than happy to have you come out with, even if it's not the public and you want to rent it out yourselves for private, please do. Sorry, I don't give out discounts. So, you got to pay full price. No, it's reasonable. So, I mean, that's the cool thing is it's not, we don't. I think our prices are pretty fair, and so we will. And thank you, Tim. That's a great, hauntedDundeeMill.com. If you guys want more information and things like that. Yeah, go for it, Jeff. I'm sorry. I know I missed a few things that you said, Jeff. Not intentional. I just got stuck into my conversations. But yeah, absolutely, man. I know Jeff from Boo Productions is going to be starting a show on Thursday. So Jeff's been a good friend of mine. Uh, he he's a great camera guy. I still have to figure out some projects to get him to work with, and do some filming. So definitely you'll have to check that out. So yeah, you have to check out his stuff when he's got it up and running. So uh other than that, like I said, I'm trying to think, I don't have anything else to really share with you guys at this point. So I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. Hope you can get outside a little bit. If you know send some messages if you guys got any ideas. I know, like I said, normally the show is always about just kind of sharing whatever's going on, but I mean, if there's ever questions and things like that, and you guys want to talk about something, let me know ahead of time and we can schedule it. Oh, there might be something. I may probably will. I think I might not be able to do the show in the morning next week. uh I am way overdue on maintenance for my vehicle. You too, Tim. Thank you. And I've got to get that in. And so the problem is I can't during the week because of where I work. And it's just too far away. I can't drive an hour and then an hour back. It's just not going to happen. Or even then, wait for service. So it works out that they're open on Saturdays, but they're only open till 11, 12. So I have a very small window and I don't want to sit there and close the show up and then try to race out the door. So I'm going to see if I can get my vehicle in next Saturday early. If I can get home in a decent time, then I'll still do a mid morning show. If I can't make it home in time, because it might just be a pop on mid morning show. If that doesn't work out, because while I'm there waiting, what I'll do is instead of a mid morning show, maybe that afternoon, as long as my schedule is free, which I think it is. If my schedule is free, instead of, like I said, instead of a mid morning show, let's go ahead and schedule a live reading show. So you guys, I know the afternoons you guys might be busy and things like that, or if you'd rather, maybe I'll save it for the evening. That's another possibility. So I'll let you guys kind of dictate, if I can do the mid morning show, great, just later, or if I do a live reading show, would you rather like the afternoons or would you want me to do it then Saturday evening? So I want to make it up. So, because I know, like I said, I really want to make sure I keep pushing these shows more and more. And so let's plan for something of that nature. So there'll be something that'll happen. Right, Margaret. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything on Sunday. That definitely would be there. But at the same time, a lot of moms and that might want to maybe get some messages from some loved ones in the past. So that'd be kind of cool. So excuse me. So yeah. So let's see let's see what happens. Let me call when I call Monday to schedule it. See if I can get it early. And then if it because it does fill up because a lot of people want to do that stuff on weekends anyway too. Um, and regardless, I will keep you guys posted. So just watch for that. So, and then I'll just go from there. So Jennifer saying afternoon, totally cool. I can get home and we can schedule that out as far as I'll plan for it so we can do live readings for an hour or two. And so it'll be a first come first serve. You guys have been through that with me before. I will decide what type of reading show it is because there's some that I've been wanting to do so badly. So I will see which one I want to do. I may go back to original one, but that's okay. So it might be like Oracle because I love doing the Oracle ones, but we'll see. We will see. But I will figure that out. So Jeff, what you got there? Okay, cool, man. Cool, cool, cool. Very cool. Thank you, Jeff. No worries. No worries. Well, hey, it's all good. It is all good. Okay. Well, Debbie, you know, and there'll be more. There'll be more. So even if it doesn't work out next week or you can't make it in the afternoon, I'm going to do more. There might be some that I'm scheduled during the week. Hey, Jeff, my dad's asking, do you have another specific page or are you just going to be doing all your advertising and promoting it on Boo Productions paranormal page? So I'll wait for Jeff to answer that. So I want to do some more. So that way it doesn't always feel like there's weekend. Cause I know with the weather and things, we all want to be out or we got things we want to do, or we want to hang out with people, since that's starting to get a little bit, easier to do. So, again, I'll probably start doing something. I know at least at the minimum, I want to do, I want to do the Saturdays always. And then, I want to, do at least one day a month. So where it's a reading show at the minimum. So, all right, cool. Thank you, Jeff. So yeah, if you guys want and check out Jeff's, upcoming new podcast show or live show, Boo Productions Paranormal, like that page. Um, I'll just throw that up there so you guys can see it real quick. So yeah, so keep that in mind. That's definitely some goals I want to do. And even then, there might be some times where I've got the brains always spinning. That might be good or bad depending on your opinion. And so I've got some other cool ideas for reading shows, and we'll see. I want to play it out and a little bit more and think about it because I usually like when I come up with an idea, I like to run it through my head a little bit more and then see what I think. And then but I got an idea. It's nothing like crazy brand new, but I think it's kind of neat because there's a reason for it. Let's just put it this way. Like I said, I have ideas, and when I think about them, I'm like, okay, this is cool because this means this, and then this explains that, and so it's a really cool thing. It's not just like shooting from the hip, kind of, but it isn't. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. You guys have heard me babble long enough, almost an hour and 9 minutes. So thank you so much. Like I said, every week and all the time, you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. And I will definitely keep you updated about next weekend. So I mean, you'll see me at some point, even not just, watch my Adam the Black Swamp Medium page. So worst case is you'll see me posting about things. So if live doesn't happen, because it could, always happen, but you'll see me posting something. So with that said, I again can't thank you guys enough. You guys are awesome. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you, Nicole, Debbie, Jen, and to the rest of you, thank you. You guys have been watching Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium, and I will see you again next time. All my love and light to each and every single one of you. Bye bye.